I freaked out immediately. He went inside of me. So this time I went to a party, a birthday party. It's not even because I'm a lesbian or anything, but when you tell me you are dating a man, I start pitying you. Men can make you just run mad. And I did not come. That was one of the dumbest decisions I've made in my whole life. I think he asked me out 3 days after we met, and the next thing I remember was me being on the floor and Jemila running to me. I slept beside him and I just cried. I was also alone, so I jumped off, I pushed him away, I went into the bathroom, I locked myself to cry. This is your friend Amara. This is your friend Amara. This is your friend Amara, the lesbian. Amara, the lesbian. The lesbian. The lesbian. Amara, the lesbian. Mary born a child. His birthday done they come. Christmas done they come. So it's Vlogmas Day 6 and I'm here looking all pretty. I'm wearing red. I'm feeling like this person, so I decided to be this person today and come and tell the story. So hey lovers and friends, welcome back to my channel. This is friend Amara the lesbian, and in today's video we're doing a story time. Finally I have enough time. Like, this vlogmas is giving me an excuse to just bring out videos and content. So all those videos, all those things I promised you in the past, I said I would do this, I will say this, I'll come and give you this, and I did not come. Just know this period I'm bringing those videos to you. So today I'm finally doing a story time that I promised you people a while back. Those of you that have been following me a while, you know there was this time I did a video about, I don't know, something about men or boys, and I promised you a story. I told you I'll tell you about this Adam guy that broke my heart into pieces. That shattered my heart into pieces. And I asked if people wanted to see the story, and people said yes in the comment section down below. For the past few days now, I've just been going back on my old videos, trying to read my comments and see what people have been suggesting that I make. And I saw, oh, a lot of people responded to this particular video, so let me make it. So today we are doing a story time about a time a man broke my heart. So grab your guguru, like my girlfriend will say, grab your popcorn, grab your chin chin, grab your guguru, because this one, I even have a bottle of wine with me, because this one, I want to tell the story. I won't tell the story because I've not done ameba about this story in a long ass while. And I remember how this guy just rendered me useless for a very long time. So seeing myself here and being this person, I remembering this story, I'm just like, now wow. So person safe, as in I'm myself grow. So growth is actually true. People talk about growth and growth and growth, and until you look back from where you're coming from to where you're right now, you'll not understand what growth is. So sit back, relax, let's get into the story. All right. So it was first semester. I had just gotten admission into Eastern Mediterranean University, North Cyprus, and you know, I've stayed home for 2 or 3 years after writing my WAEC. So I was like 18 or 19, I think 19. I was like 19 or 20, 19. So I'd gained admission into this university in Cyprus, and I was very happy because I'd written my WAEC exams several times. I failed my first WAEC, my second WAEC, and then my third WAEC. Let's not even get into that story of my WAEC failures. Maybe if people want that story, let me know in the comment section down below about my WAEC failures. I'll bring that story to you, because that's on that thing that happened to me that was major in my life. So now I gained admission into this university in North Cyprus, and I had to leave the country. I left Nigeria, I went to North Cyprus. It's somewhere in Turkey, or somewhere associated to Turkey. I don't even know the history of North Cyprus and Turkey, so let me not even pretend like I do. But you shall pass through Turkey, you enter Turkey before you enter Cyprus. That's all I know. So now I got to North Cyprus and I was very excited to be there. Although I had like fears and anxiety and all of that, I was just like excited to be there. At some point I got lonely. I got very lonely. First semester loneliness hit me. I was out of Nigeria in a country where I did not know anybody. I started making friends. I started making friends from scratch. My first friend, I met her at the airport on my way going to the school. So I was making friends, I was lonely, and my family is something I still like. Family was a weird place for me at that moment. So I won't really say like I was not happy to leave my family, because at that point, honestly, I was very happy to be leaving my family or to be leaving home. I was also alone because everything I knew was somewhere else, and everything I was in right now is things I did not know. So one party led to another, and your girl started drinking. I learned how to drink. I learned how to drink from those, you know, I had started drinking in Nigeria actually, but like I wasn't drinking. But when I started going to parties, those first semester parties, welcome parties, and just being alone, I started drinking. I'll sit alone and drink and all of that. So this time I went to a party, a birthday party. This friend had invited me. This girl, she wasn't really my friend actually. I had just met her and we're talking, and she invited me to her friend's birthday party. So I was like, okay, no problem. So I went to the party and I was just there, and there was a bottle of vodka, one cheap vodka like that, and I started drinking just because there was nothing else to do. And that's why I would drink most times at the party when I was younger, because there was nothing else to do. I was very inside of myself. I didn't know how to commune with people. I would always just sit and stare, and there would be alcohol sitting with me, so I would just drink. I was just drinking because I knew nothing else. I didn't know what to do. So I started drinking, and I got drunk. Not tipsy, I got drunk. I was young, so my organs were fresh, my brain was fresh. Small alcohol gets me there. So I got drunk, and some guys were sitting beside me, a guy and I think his friend. I don't know, I know there were two, so it wasn't one person, so there were two people. And this guy, he was sitting closer to me. At some point I couldn't keep my head, so I kept my head on his shoulder. I don't remember the story exactly, so I'll just give you bits and pieces of everything I remember. So I kept my head on his shoulder and I started talking to him, and they brought food. No, at some point he started talking to me too, or just small talk, because he's a sweet boy, or he was a sweet boy at that time. He was really sweet. They brought food, and I took a spoon of the food, and then I started listing out everything that was wrong with the food. I was like, oh, it does not have enough Maggi, it does not have this, it does not have that. And then he looks at me and like, I guess you're a good cook or something like that. And I was like, yeah, sure, of course. I don't know, I'm a good cook. So that time of my life, I used to always, not always, but it was one of the things I was very proud about, because they told me that was a way to keep a man. So when I was talking to men, when I was talking to men, when I was in the realm of boyness, that was one of the things I used to bring forward, like, oh, I'm a great cook. Like, I would just flaunt it there, and I would not hesitate to cook for you. If you remember my stories of Mohammed, you remember how I used to cook him Azu Amirami? Because I knew I was a great cook, so I would not hesitate to cook for you, to show you this is why you should love me. Naim, I can't tell the guy, say, yeah, so I'm a great cook, and blah 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 blah. And we started talking, and I got really wasted, and he offered to take me home. I stood up, I went with him. On my way leaving that party, I even threw up, and we got a cab. He took me to my dorm. He walked me to the door. It was a female dorm. He was not allowed in. Those of you that went to, I think, no, it wasn't my dorm. I went to my friend's dorm because I had a roommate. Funny enough, the roommate is currently my very best friend. But then she and I didn't really just agree. So every time I was that way, I won't go to my room. I'll go to my friend's room. So I was drunk, and he dropped me at my friend's dorm, Agdenis. Those of you that went to North Cyprus or went to EME, you would know this dorm. He dropped me at Agdenis, and you know, Agdenis, they had the female section, they had the male section. Men or boys cannot enter the girl section, so he couldn't enter in. So he just had to drop me at the lobby, and he went. So I walked in. I don't know who called who back and gave who number. I gave him my number. I remember it was me that gave him my number because I had to sit and wait for his call. When I woke up, I remember that someone had brought me home, and it was this guy that looked really good. Honestly, when I was into guys, I was really into guys, because I would notice their face structure, their everything. You see the way you notice. I should have known I was a lesbian, because I noticed them. I love guys the way I love girls, but it's just unfortunate that I cannot love guys in this world right now the way I love girls. Girls are like colors, guys are like black or white. You either get black or white. Why with girls you get a lot of colors. You can get yellow, you can get red, you can get pink. There's so much you can get in a woman. Like, girls are so colorful. I don't know why boys decide to be stereotypical, to be a man. To be a man is so restrictive, and it's such a box. Women have so many palettes to select from. Back to my story, let me not deviate. So he called me, or I think he texted me the next day to say, hey, it's me, I'm the guy that brought you back, blah blah blah, Adam. And you know, it was nice. So we started talking. That's how we met. We started talking, we would hang out, just spend nights and nights just talking and walking under the moon and just talking. We talked so much. We talked, and he was so beautiful. I would just sit and stare at him. He had this really nice hair then that I loved touching. It was so nice, and he had this really tiny mustache that was growing then. When you kissed him, that time when I kissed him, I could feel the mustache. So it was always like a funny thing to like feel his tiny mustache on my lip every time I kissed him. It was something I would like tease him about, but it was really cute. I loved it, and he was really cute, and he was really nice. He was really sweet. He understood me. He didn't listen to me like my other exes or my the other guys I used to talk to would listen to me. He listened to me like I was a person talking, and we both just talk and share ideas and just, you know, commune. It was nice. Honestly, meeting this guy changed me because I did not know I could be that way with a man. Before him, I did not know men like that existed. I just thought with men, you just get yeah and amen. You don't even tell them about yourself. You don't talk about yourself. Like my other exes, he hardly even understood. Like, not my other exes. I had just one ex, two before him. I dated just two people before him. One, and this other one died. Dated. I kind of sat and dated. See, just one, Jerry, I beg, just one. So now, conversations with him was really nice. So he was really beautiful. I really liked him. And then when he finally asked me out, oof, yes, of course. I think he asked me out 3 days after we met, right? If I have my story correct, or I asked him out. I can't remember the story very well. Honestly, cannot remember the story, but I know we started dating 3 days after we met. And it was not, yes, this is what I'm trying to explain. It wasn't a relationship where I felt like an unequal power dynamics. I felt powerful with this person too. Like, he was powerful because in that age I already knew men or taught men or boys to be powerful, and I didn't think myself to be powerful. But with this person, I also felt powerful. I also felt like a self, a being. So there wasn't an unequal power dynamics for me. I didn't experience that. I felt powerful as I thought him powerful, right? So we started dating. He was my very first sex. He took my virginity, or whatever they call it. You know, that time when girls still believed in virginity and all of that, it was a big deal for me. This guy was a big deal. I believed in our relationship, big deal. So we start talking, we start dating, we start, you know, hanging out, spending time in each other's room, and spending time together, reading together, doing stuff together. And then one time, months later, I noticed this girl starts calling him around 11 p.m. Yeah, I think we're writing an exam, so because we would read into the night, we'd go to classes to read into the night, and this girl would always call him around 11 p.m. or 12, which was like 10, 11 Nigerian time. She was calling him around the same time, so it was easy for me to notice. And at that age, honestly, at that time, although I was very girly and all of that, I still was very non-monogamous in my thoughts. So in a way, I was okay with it, but he wasn't communicating on telling me what was going on, so I was freaking out and I was anxious. Honestly, at first I kept my cool. I was just noting that, okay, someone calls this guy around so and so time every night, no problem. So now one night I'm spending time in his room. I'm supposed to sleep over in his room, and I think the girl had called him that night, had asked him or something, and he said it was his ex-girlfriend. Yeah, was it his ex? He gave me one bullshit story, honestly. Either his ex-girlfriend or his friend. So I said, okay. So that night, oh God, girls, ladies, women, please, especially growing girls, not for ladies and women and ladies, I think you already know what you're doing. You have your life handled by now. For girls, please learn how to not go through people's phones. Just leave it alone. You've not gotten to that place to handle it. You're still, oof. So that night he's sleeping, and I take his phone and I go through it. I go through his message with this girl, supposed friend or ex or whatever he said, and I was freaking out about reading the message, so I didn't really read the messages. What I did was I took her number, I saved it on my phone, and I sent her a message. I was like, hey, hi, or something like that. I sent her a message on WhatsApp, and on the DP there was my profile picture, so you can see who it is without struggle. A few minutes later she replied, hi, hey, hello, I know you. So this is me thinking, oh my gosh, she knows me. Oh my God, what am I doing? He has told her about me, so he's being truthful. Why am I doing this? And she's still typing, and the next message that comes into the phone is, you're the girl taking care of my boyfriend, or something like that, or you're the girl taking something like that. You're the girl taking care of my boyfriend. Naeem, I froze. I didn't know what to do, what to say, what to respond. A part of me wanted to say, no, he's my boyfriend. A part of me wanted to just like, oh, she has started off like, you've cut shots gone to this guy. Like, let me just know my place. Let me just take my L and move on. So I was like, oh, yeah, that's me. And she was like, oh, she's so thankful. I'm being so supportive, and he has told her so much about me. Blah 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 blah. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, oh, thank you for looking after my boyfriend. Blah blah blah. She says she's in Nigeria. I'm like, oh, okay. Naeem, I drop phone. Naeem, I go sleep. The kind of night I had that night. I cried inside myself. I didn't even sleep. At first, I didn't sleep. I texted his roommate. He was still sleeping. I texted his roommate. I said, please, let me just assume her name is Jemila. The girl's name is Jemila. Oh, no. oh no, this was before I went through his message. This was before I went, oh my god, I'm mixing up the story. This was before I went through his phone. So before I went through his phone, I had tested his roommate, because like the whole thing about this Jemila girl was driving me insane. Let's just assume her name is Jemila. Before I went through his phone, the whole thing was driving me insane. Like, I've been asking him and he wasn't telling me the truth. So I tested his roommate. Let's just assume his roommate's name is Aaron. I tested Aaron. I said, oh hi Aaron, please, you know who Jemila is? Or do you know who Jemila is to Adam? And Aaron is like, see, Amara, just ignore this one, just ignore it, or something like that. I know he gave me one very answer that made me suspicious. That is why I went through his phone, because like I was already feeling like, if Aaron can say, Amara, see, if you see this thing, ignore it, just ignore it, that means something is there. So I went through his phone and I saw that. So I dropped the phone and I just cried beside him while he slept. I cried. Oh my god, men can make you feel crazy. God, I pity people who date men. Honestly, I'm sorry. It's not even because I'm a lesbian or anything, but when you tell me you are dating a man, I start pitying you. Men can make you just run mad. I slept beside him and I just cried. So I woke up now the next day and I confronted him. And he said, oh, she's the ex, blah blah blah. He doesn't know how to tell me. Yes. Oh, now I'm remembering the story. He had told me he's a friend earlier, so now he's telling me that the girl is his ex, blah blah blah. He didn't know how to tell me that he's not in love with her, that he has never seen her in real life, that they started dating on phone. He just gave me this very good story that made me think, okay, it's sensible. If you've not seen this girl in real life, people started dating on phone. Oh, he said he had seen her once, but she came with his friend. So when he left the country, they started chatting on phone and then they started dating, but he has not really spent time with her in person. So he doesn't really know how he feels about her, but he's pretty sure he's not in love with her because he has met me and he's so in love with me. That's how this guy puts it. Naim, I believe him. Naim, I agree. We finished writing exam. Remember I said we finished writing exam. Summertime came and he was meant to travel to Nigeria. Before he left for Nigeria, we sat down, we spoke, because you know I was very, very anxious and paranoid because he was going to see this Jemila chick. And although we had walked through that whole moment, we had sorted out. After he told me all those things, now I believed him. And he said he was not in love with her. I believed him. He said he was in love with me. I believed him. So, but me, I was being a realist now. I've always been a realist and I've always believed in non-monogamy in a way, but I did not understand it then. My feelings were believing, but I didn't understand it. So my knowledge, my feelings, my everything was still limited. So I sat him down, I had this conversation with him. I told him, see, you know what's going to happen when you go back to Nigeria, let's just try and stay away from each other for like 3 weeks. For like 3 weeks, just stay away from me, take your time, see what you feel. Was it 3 weeks or 3 days? I told him to take his time, settle down, talk to this girl, see how. It was 3 days, not 3 weeks. It couldn't have been 3 weeks. How long is the holiday? Just for a few days. I can't remember how long. So now, like, take your time, talk to this girl, see Jemila, know how you feel about her, know if you still like her. Just, I want you to take your time and like assess your feelings. I'm your friend. I used to always be friends with people I fall in love with or people I date, even when I was into men or when I was dating men. And I'm like, I'm your friend. I want what's best for you. So if you love this girl, know that I'll support you, but I want you to make your choice. So he travels, he leaves the country, he goes back to Nigeria, and we didn't talk. Or so the first day, the second day, he hit me up like, oh, see, I can't stay away from you. We're going to have to figure this out. So we start chatting and he's gisting me. We are trying to be friendly because we're friends. We're really guys. We will talk. So I'll ask him, have you gone to see Jemila? He'll tell me the day he went to see her, he told me it was really cool, it was really nice. Even his mom knew we were friends. So one time he went to see Jemila and he didn't come back on time, and the mom was freaking out and she sent me a text. So please, if I can help her look for her son, that she's really, really freaking out. It was like 1 a.m. Nigerian time, and I was freaking out that he's, you know, because the mom is freaking out, but I was also freaking out and angry and paranoid because I know he's with Jemila and he's out that late in the night. And the mom said she was freaking out because he took a car and she doesn't know if he has gotten into an accident. So in my head, I'm just imagining that this boy took a car, he went to see a girl, she was in this university, one university in Abuja, like this. Those of you in Abuja know Bayes University, she's in Bayes University. So, you know, I'm just thinking in my head, I'm imagining this scenario, I'm like, this boy took a car to Bayes University, he's carrying a girl and he's flexing. This is what Bayes girls like. Say, oh my God, I've lost my boyfriend. I was just freaking out and all of that. So the next day he comes back, he has sent me a text in the morning and all of that. So we talk, and God, I just could not do it. I just could not do it. Like 2 days later, I took my savings, all of my savings in my account, and bought a ticket to Nigeria because I could not do it. That was one of the dumbest decisions I've made in my whole life. So I get to Nigeria and he picks me up at the airport. It's really nice and I'm still freaking out. I don't know what to expect. Like, I know you've been spending time with Jemila. Like, how far do you still love me? Am I doing what you want? I am freaking out. But he picks me up and he's smiling and it's nice. So I'm thinking, okay, he still loves me. I think we went back to his house or something. We had sex. We finished having sex and he wants to talk to a friend. Guess who becomes a friend? Me. I become a friend and he talks to me about Jemila or his mom or his problems. And I was just trying to be anything that he wanted or he needed because, like, I wanted him to be mine. Do you understand? Like, oh God, those of you that love men, those of you that love unhealthy, because I know that was unhealthy. I didn't have a self, but I wanted a person. So I was doing anything and everything to just get this person because waiting my boundaries, waiting my principles, waiting my values, nothing. I did not know myself then. So now one day we're hanging out and he's like, oh, let's drive to Base and see Jemila. And I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. So we drive down to Base. We see this girl. She's hot. This girl is hot. And I'm just like, okay, I see what you're working with. Okay. So when I met her in person, because we had spoken before, there was this weird energy and weird history between us. But you know, girls, and she was hot and she was smiling and she was playful. I should have known I was a lesbian because the way we hit stuff and we just kept smiling and trying to talk, which honestly they try. After we left, a lot of things was happening. He started keeping late night. He would not call back. He would not pick calls. Just a lot of things was happening during that summer period, and I just started knowing that something was wrong. I started freaking out. I knew that something was wrong. And I decided, see, okay, I should call this Jemila girl. Oh yeah. He told me something had happened between both of them. He told me he had kissed her. They were spending time in the car and they kissed and all of that. But you know, his feelings. See, that boy, we babied him so much. Jemila was being understanding. I was being understanding. Everybody was just like, what do you want? Pick one person. So he was using both our heads. He'll come, he'll cry to me. Oh, I don't know what I want. He'll go, he'll cry to Jemila. Oh, I don't know what. And both of us were trying our best to get him. So we'll do anything he wanted. Do you understand? I would have sex with him. She would make out with him. Whatever. I don't know if she had sex with him. I really don't know. He just told me the barest minimum to just keep me wanting him and keep me fighting for him. He'll probably tell me something like, oh, she kissed me or we kissed or something. So that would make me want to fight more or do more. I did not have sense then. Just don't worry. So that day now, one particular day, I was running mad. I was just done. I didn't know what to do. I called up Jemila and I was like, see, I told her my own side. I just told her, and the girl was like, see, honestly, Amara, that's not what is going on with me. That's not what Adam told me. So what had happened was Adam had told her that he was going to break up with me, and they got back together. They started talking. They started like dating and talking and hanging out, and that was why he has been keeping late nights. And she told me all of that on phone. I couldn't believe it. You know what I said? I said, see, where are you? She said, I'm in school, I'm at Base. I was like, okay, I'm coming. I told my mom. My mom was not even around that day. I told my younger one. I said, see, Adam is in the hospital. I want to run and go and see him. I spend the night there. I left that message with my younger one. I left the house. So I went to her school and we just sat down and we exchanged stories and we talked. We talked and talked and talked. We talked so much. So Adam calls me as I was with her and he's like, oh babe, where are you? I'm about to start coming to your house, blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh, I'm at Base, come to Base. And then he's like, oh, okay. So Adam comes to Base and Jemila gives us a moment to talk. So I'm looking at him like, yo, Adam, what's up? Talk to me. I'm still trying to be understanding then, because like after all said and done, I felt like his friend. I felt like, see, whatever this strange girl has told me, this guy is still my friend. He can still tell me something that will make sense, that I will believe. Then I was thinking, I gave this guy my virginity. I love him. He will sing to me. Oh my God, this guy would just sing to me. The first time we had sex, I freaked out. Immediately he went inside of me. So I jumped off. I pushed him away. I went into the bathroom. I locked myself to cry. When I came out, he just held me. He brought out his guitar and he played and he sang to me. And that was really sweet and really nice. I remember how every time he sang to me, it used to be really sweet. So I knew this boy to be really sweet, right? I was ready to hear his explanation and let it make sense. So I'm like, oh, what is it? Tell me, I'm your friend. You know I'm your friend. And then he's like, oh, see, he's in love with her. He said, the truth is I've always been in love with her, blah, 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 blah. It's just I met you and what you and I had felt so good, blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay, what he was explaining, I had to like, okay, I called him short, like, wait, let me understand what you're saying. Are you trying to say that I'm a very long one-night stand? And he's like, yeah, like he thinks about it and he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Then I left, or I tried leaving, I tried walking away, and I had the most massive panic attack I've ever had in my life. Honestly, because in that moment all I wanted to do was lie down, and I just let my body go. And I hardly ever let my body go. No matter what I'm feeling, I'm trying to get to the nearest seat, the nearest bed. That day, I just let my body go. And the next thing I remember was me being on the floor and Jemila running to me and shouting, no, Amara, you're not going to do this. No, Amara, please don't do this. He's not worth it. He's not worth it. I remember Adam came close also, and Jemila shouted at him to get out. And she was, honestly, Jemila was great that day. I won't lie. Jemila was so great. She took me to her room and she laid me there, and I just laid there and I was just staring. My God, I was just staring. After a while, she called her friends. Her friends came. They took me to this other guy's room that had music. I don't know what they were doing, but I think they went there to smoke and party. But I did not notice because I was so inside my head. They were trying to cheer me up, but I did not notice. I was just inside my head staring like, wait, what just happened? I cried so hard that night, and I was saying a lot of things. I was saying, oh my God, this boy did this to me. Oh my God, I'm going to show him. A lot of girls have surrounded me. I'm now feeling stupid. I'm now feeling silly. I had to say something to ginger myself. I'm like, me, a boy did this to me. I'm going to show him. I'm going to, because the other girls were saying things. Me, since I started saying things. Now I went home. This boy did not contact me. I did not contact this boy, and that's how we broke up. And then I went back to school, and we later met back actually and started dating again, but that is a different whole story. That's a different story entirely. So if you enjoyed this particular story, just let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll come back and give you a part 2 of how he and I met again after he had dated Jemila in Nigeria. After everything happened in that school, he and Jemila got back together. They dated. He came back to Cyprus. He and I dated. A lot of things happened. So if you want to hear the part 2 of the story back, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll come back and I'll tell you. But for today, this is where I'd love to end this video. So I'll see you tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 7. Don't forget to come back, all right? And if you've missed any videos, go back and watch them, all right? And if you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe right now, please, all right? And share this video, share this channel, and don't forget to take care of yourself, love yourself, be good to yourself, be kind to yourself, love on yourself, pamper yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, just like the dough, who will? So for today's video, the end word of today's video should be, what should it be? Hearts. Since we are talking about heart issues, type heart in the comment section down below if you got to this part of the video, if you got to the end of the video, so I know that you heart me, and so you know that I heart you back. All right, so type heart in the comment section down below. And from me to you, this is goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 7. And if you've missed any videos, go back and watch them. If you've not subscribed, subscribe. If you've not liked this video, like it. If you don't love me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.